Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? It is Robert Welkner here, doing another CoinOpTV live and interactive show here on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoinOpTV. Now, it's been a week that we had a chance to see old Captain America Civil War movie, so I thought, you know what, let's sit down and do a spoiler review. You know, I haven't even done a review of this movie in general, spoiler or not, and I've kind of didn't want to ruin it for anybody, but I feel like it's been out for a week in the US. I think technically it's been out for like 2 weeks overseas. I know a lot of you guys are over in the UK internationally, so you've had ample time, and I'm giving you ample warning in this introduction. This is a spoiler review, spoiler information. If you're in chat, you can spoil things in chat if you wanted to. So no hating, and you can spoil in comments after when it archives. So there's kind of the disclaimer. Now, with that, we have special guest, my man Bluray Dan, who is a movie enthusiast and Blu-ray collector and East Coast lover. So let me say hi to Dan. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Yes. This is the first time we're sort of meeting, chatting. We kind of met through kind of him jumping into my live stream, and I checked out some of his videos. So you guys want to definitely check out his YouTube channel. Also, I'll put that in the description on the VOD archive. So let me get my Captain America Civil War image up here, and then we'll get started. So right off the bat, I should say I'm Team Cap. Dan, where do you stand with this controversial side?
I have been Team Cap all the way. I believe that they should not be controlled, and the government's just got to stop getting involved in stuff already.
Yeah, there is a lot of that, the government getting involved. Let me give some shout outs to some of the chatters also, and then we'll get on to reviewing things. We got T. Taylor, Chompy Brothers, Crafted Creator, and Chloe. A bunch of people jumping in chat. I know a few people jumped in chat and then said, I gave a shout out, and then we're like, I got to go because I don't want to get spoiled. So that's okay. You know, watch this back when you get spoiled. So, so Dan, so I've seen Captain America Civil War. I've seen all the Marvel movies, and enjoy them. I don't know if I'd quite say I'm the biggest MCU fanboy. To me, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy. Then it gets a little gray area with some of the movies after that. Where do you stand as far as your MCU favorite films, like top 3 or something?
Well, all right. So I definitely I agree with you. I'm not the biggest, but I definitely prefer Marvel to DC. But before everybody starts going crazy, I like all, I don't to hate on any of them. Favorite Marvel movie, though, I would have to say Iron Man was always my favorite. I don't know why exactly, but something about it. I'm a big fan of Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, the sarcastic tone that he's always carried on with. Yeah, Guardians was great. I wish I saw it in theaters, but I waited for a Blu-ray release with that one. And then I really think that Civil War has to be right up next.
All right, so you're throwing it right up there in the top 3 there. So yeah. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. I liked it a lot. We'll pick it apart a little bit, piece by piece, the characters and stuff. So we'll start with the best. What do you think was sort of the best scene or the best moment of Civil War, in your opinion, upon first viewing? I feel like, we got to be fair. Like, if you guys are watching this on the archive a year later and we've all seen the movie 2 or 3 times, opinions may change. So this is kind of like a first impressions kind of thing. So favorite scene, favorite movie, favorite scene, or favorite moment?
I got to be honest. I thought it was very intense when pretty much right at the beginning when Tony Stark is speaking at the school, and he goes in the back room, and the woman's just standing there, and she shows him a picture of her kid that he took part in killing, if you want to put it out there like that, back in the previous Avengers movie. I thought that scene was amazing. It showed some acting chops, and it was powerful.
Yeah, we did get a handful of passionate, character-driven scenes trickled in between large-scale action set-piece scenes. I'm wearing my Brooklyn shirt. One of my favorite moments is when Captain America asked Spider-Man, hey, where you from? He's like, Queens. And he says, I'm from Brooklyn, so represent. I was actually watching some Screen Junkies, and Kevin Smith sort of brought that up also. I know you're from East Coast loving too, so you probably had a moment there.
Yeah.
All right, so favorite sort of character, so obviously it's a Captain America movie. We had Captain America. I think the screen time feels like it was kind of split pretty evenly with Captain America and Iron Man, and then you kind of had a bunch of other characters in there. Did you have a favorite? I mean, was Captain America your favorite character in this?
The funny thing is, it's a Captain America movie. I'm Team Cap. I still feel like I'm Team Iron Man, man. Like I just keep going to him. The personality, just the suit, everything. I mean, the character. Just I always liked Iron Man for some reason. And yeah, I just liked the part that he played. I understood where he was coming from. Everything about it. I was Iron Man with that, in that sense.
So team Captain America, but more for Iron Man. Is that what you're telling me here?
Because I'm understanding of Captain America's side, but I'm also understanding of Tony Stark. But yeah, I'm Team Cap, but Iron Man is favorite character, I'd say.
So Dan, let me ask you this: two limos pull up, one on each side. Yeah, one has Chris Evans, Captain America. One has Tony Stark, and they both open the door and say, "Hey, you want to go for a ride? Which limo do you jump in?"
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna have to. It's so funny. I'm gonna have to go with Iron Man with that one. I really am. Like I said, I understand Cap. I think he's on the right side of this one. But I mean, if I'm gonna hang out with somebody, I feel like if we're going somewhere, Captain America's taking me to a ball, and and Iron Man's taking me out to actually party.
So Choppy Brothers in chats, I wanted to know who is the best character in the movie, either new or old. So I'm going to go with Captain America as my favorite character in this movie, followed up by Spider-Man as a number two. And Dan, I'll give you a number two choice as well, since I picked one. Captain America, when he's on screen, homeboy just looks like real serious, perfectly cast, chiseled face. There's a scene with we see the muscles flexing, and people in the theater were in awe. And then Spider-Man, sort of second favorite, which was odd because we never thought we'd sort of get Spider-Man in sort of a Marvel MCU movies. So do you have a second pick, a follow up to that?
Yeah, with this one, I'm going to go with Ant-Man. I loved him. I mean, even though he wasn't in it that long, I loved seeing him pop up, and the character, his characteristics. Again, he's sarcastic. Something draws me to those kind of characters. But he was just funny. I mean, the lines that they gave him, obviously turning into Giant Man. I mean, that was fantastic. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I'd go with Ant-Man.
So do you think that the teams were divvied up fair? Was there like a landslide at all with one side? How'd you feel sort of watching it? Were you in the theater going oh well, this is obviously going to be a blowout, or in one direction, or was it sort of evenly split up?
I honestly think it was very evenly split up. I think each side had its big power hitters, and then I really think it was straight down the middle, if you ask me, honestly. I mean, you got originally I would have said Vision is very powerful. You got this thing coming in here. I mean, he's got so many abilities, and I thought he would kind of overpower everything. But no, it seemed from watching the movie, everything really did seem pretty equal.
We got in live chat, we got Sky2 and Meebo Gaming says, I think the best part was when Cap was holding onto the helicopter and the edge, so he must have got a good that was the bicep flexing scene there that I was talking about in the movie. So that was good. Let me bring up let's see, since we're talking old Captain America here, let's bring up a little hero shot of him, if I can screen share. There we go.
There he is.
There we go. So so yeah, I enjoyed him. I thought it was interesting how his shield kind of almost became a character in the movie as well. With we know that Captain America throws around the shield, but there was a moment when Spider-Man got his shield, and we kind of saw a teaser of that in the trailer, and it seemed like it was active. It was being used. His shield was being used a little more to sort of break his chains and escape, and always, of course, deflect things. And then later in the movie, with him and the Winter Soldier fighting Iron Man, they're kind of tossing the shield back and forth. So maybe the shield was like a third character, sort of in things.
I could see. I'm pretty impressed also that Black Panther could scrape that thing up in one shot too.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was pretty impactful. The one of the final shots was kind of like Iron Man's like, "Hey, that's our shield," or you know, it doesn't belong to him. He drops it, and you see like the Black Panther claws, scraped on there and stuff. It's interesting because it kind of asks a question because isn't Captain America's shield and his claws aren't they sort of made from the same material? They could damage each other. Is that correct lore in comic and movie lore now?
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, I don't know how else he would have done it otherwise. You know.
All right, let's go on. Let's talk Black Panther now. So, new character introduced to MCU. It's been in Marvel Comics for a while. Dan, I didn't think to ask this before. Are you a comic guy, a comic collector, comic reader at all?
I was never too much into the Marvel Universe comics. I would read stuff. I mean, I have Walking Dead comics and I used to read G.I. Joe back in the day. But I was never a Marvel. My brother used to be, but we were never that much into it.
All right, I'm the complete opposite. For 20 years, I collected comics, Marvel, DC, awesome. Read the Civil War when it was a comic book, and a lot of these characters kind of know a lot of their stories. So it's always weird for me when they change something from the movie, and you're like, okay, I gotta readjust, and stuff. But for the most part, they've done sort of a really faithful job. But this was kind of a question with the introduction of Black Panther. I thought, wow. If there was a negative, I mean, there's pros and cons about the movie. I think wasn't the greatest for me, but one of the negatives, the slights, I thought was the way Black Panther was sort of introduced as a new character. I felt like, I knew some of his abilities and stuff like that, being a comic guy, but it just felt like it just kind of went, and they were just like, here he is, he's going to fight and do some crazy stuff. We don't know what his powers are, if he has powers or what. What's your thoughts on Black Panther as introduced into the MCU?
Well, I like the idea, this sounds wrong saying too, I like the idea that his father passed away. They were trying to make a difference, and then the bomb went off, and his father passed away, and he was kind of like, that's it, I've had it, I like the idea of that. Yeah, I mean, do we really get to know, like, powers or ability-wise, like, really what the suit really... I mean, I know he's got the claws that come out, I know he could run really fast, and he could do some crazy airtime kicks, but... Like what? Like you said, you're a comic guy. What else does he really do within?
Yeah, so if you just watch the movie, you might just think, oh, he's kind of athletic and he's got some claws and stuff. So yeah, he's got the vibranium outfit and claws, so that makes it so when people are shooting him with the bullets, things can kind of bounce off. But it's interesting that homeboy's getting shot with bullets and not even like flinching at all.
Yes, exactly.
You get shot with like a bulletproof vest, chances are you're not going to just run off a rooftop or something. So in comic book lore, I believe that the Black Panther, the T'Challa and all that stuff, I think that they have some sort of knowledge of the ancients that they sort of can call upon. So he's got kind of this genius sort of thing and spiritual kind of ancestry that he can kind of call upon. So maybe that doesn't factor in too much in this movie as an action movie, but maybe in the Black Panther movie we'll sort of touch on that as a little more of his origin story or something.
I would hope so. I'm intrigued. I'd definitely like to know more about him now after seeing the movie.
Yeah, it's a shame that we gotta wait. Was it 2 years? Of 2018? Is that when we're coming back with his movie?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2018.
I'm doing some maintenance in chat. We got the chat is blowing up. I guess we got a topical thing. Got a couple people trolling. Got to give them a timeout. You guys behave, or you're getting a timeout. I see. Gamer Family joined us. T Taylor, Chloe's asking some questions in there. T Taylor says, "Who is awesome?" Well, of course, it's got to be me and Dan, right? That's the answer, right? Dan, what's the correct answer to who is awesome?
Oh well, I mean, I would say you because it's your stream right now and you invited me on here. But then, yeah, I'd say me after that. That's my second choice.
So Tyler Hatton is in chat and he says Bucky lost his arm and War Machine got paralyzed. I'm assuming he's trying to jump in and troll and spoil, but this is a spoiler discussion, so you're not ruining anything for us. So let's talk Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. How do you feel like his treatment was in the Civil War movie? Did he get enough screen time? Was he badass? Was he a wimp? Did he do things justice for you?
No, I really enjoyed his character. It's funny. I think I enjoyed him more in this movie than I did in Winter Soldier. I know that's everybody's one of their favorites. I really like this character. He definitely got enough screen time, if you ask me. It was pretty based around him. A lot of it. Love the character. I think it's great. I love the story. The fact that he, with just a few words, he can change and be programmed right back to the way, causing hell. Leaving off at the end of the movie. I don't know if you wanted to jump right to the end. If you wanted to ask questions.
Yeah, we could jump. We don't have a format here, so we could jump around, talk movie plots, characters, stuff like that. So yeah, jump into whatever your thought is.
Okay, well, it was awesome seeing his arm blown off. I was like the metal arm. I was sitting back and I was like, "Holy cow! You got to be kidding me! That just happened. His arm is like gone." But what worries me is, okay, we already got Winter Soldier based on him. We already got, Civil War, which was, it wasn't fully based around him, but there was a nice amount of his story to it. And what I see them doing at the end is they're refreezing him, or they're putting him back away until they can figure out what's going on with him, get the all these commands and everything out of his brain. I don't want them to make another movie down the line, another Marvel movie where he has this big comeback again. I feel like now they should kind of tone it down. I feel like by refreezing him, they're setting it up for a point where he's like, "Hey guys, I'm back again," and it's a whole big thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I see where you go with this. We don't want to just have every movie be the Bucky, Barnes, Winter Soldier origin story. Yeah. I mean, he's been in all 3 Captain America movies. In the comic books, he's a sidekick. Doesn't follow along in every comic book. He kind of comes and goes and stuff like that. So freeze him. Thaw him out in when we need to revamp, when the MCU is dead and they're no longer making good movies, and they need to thaw him out and get like a gimmick. Save him for that, put an Infinity Stone in his arm or his shoulder.
I could see that.
Freeze him up. But one of the scenes that I did like a lot was when they're when they first kind of Cap and Winter Soldier do see each other face to face, and they're in that hotel, and the military guys are in there, and Bucky's blocking bullets with his hand, which I guess is an ability that he has and stuff like that. That was a pretty good, brutal, up close and personal, brutal kind of scene there that I liked a lot. And then we kind of went on the motorcycle and run around. So I like that. Gamer Family Chat is not a big fan of Bucky Barnes. Gamer Family's a big Team Iron Man fan. So they're rooting for the Team Iron Man. And Gamer Family wants to know how we felt about old Spidey. Did we talk enough about Spidey? Let's jump over to Spidey. Let me get my Spider-Man picture up here. And there we go. So that's the kind of the iconic-y one that we've seen, that was in the trailers. So Spider-Man in the MCU universe, was a big coup to get this. Studios shaking hands, smoking cigars, riding the subways together, holding hands, making friends, and now
opens up a lot of doors.
Yes, the whole things are unlocked now. Level up, achievements and stuff. So Spider-Man's in the movie for a good amount of screen time, and then he gets kind of the bonus scenes. Again, these are spoilers and stuff, but he gets the bonus scene after credits. We get to meet his Aunt May, who's young and pretty, and we get to see him in his room there. Terrible at hiding things. I mean, you got a Spider-Man costume. It's just kind of up there in your rafter for old Tony Stark to knock out. So what was your impression? Like, how'd you feel when you first saw Spider-Man on screen there?
I really, now Spider-Man as Peter Parker or Spider-Man as Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, well, take me through all the motions. We got Peter Parker and then Spider-Man. Yeah, I
thought they did a great job with introducing the Peter Parker Spider-Man character again in this movie. I feel like we didn't need another origin story, and I thought that this was a great way to kind of just sum it up in a real fast bit. You got the personality right off the bat. I thought it was done very, very well. You got to know who he was instantly. Why he's doing what he is doing, and the introduction where he's kind of loyal to Tony Stark because Stark brought him out. But I mean, I just thought it was done really, really well. He's learning as he's going along. He's very young. I really liked it. Really.
Yeah, it was fun. They cast this first time. It was kind of a newcomer. I'm not sure how many movies he's been in, but so it's a recasting, new face. Apparently, the backstory is a lot of rehearsal was sort of spent with with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans to sort of make sure that they were on point with the cast and the Spider-Man, hopefully kind of leading to more things. I guess the assumption is that Tony Stark will also be in a Spider-Man movie. Is that something that
it was confirmed, I believe?
Was it confirmed? Okay.
Yeah.
I try and go light on spoilers ahead, but once something's out, then
I mean,
okay. So then we first see Spider-Man basically gives us a little surprise in the movie. He pops up and takes Captain America's shield, which doesn't happen often, throws him in some web handcuffs. I'd like to backtrack a bit. I do like that we're getting electronic webbing. I don't know what the phrase is, but instead of the organic shooting the webs out of your veins, we're getting a Spider-Man with the mechanical webbing, sort of showing that Peter Parker is kind of a really smart, intelligent, genius type of guy, can invent and make things. He's good at sewing, he's good at crafting, and now he's out there and he's got his high-tech costume that I guess Tony Stark sort of helped build. What'd you think of his Spider-Man's costume when you saw it?
When it was first announced, I liked it, but if you look closely, there's red and black and blue mixed in a little bit. So when I first saw it, I was a little thrown off with multiple colors because it looks like the bottom half has more blue, and there is black on the top half. And I thought it was fine. Like, I was just happy to see him. I thought that was pretty cool that they introduced him, and so I like the costume. What I thought was like really, really awesome, kind of took me back a little bit, was when Bucky comes in and tries to punch him. And just without any hesitation, just grabs the arm. Like, what just happened here?
Yeah, that was kind of, I think, a throwback to like when Winter Soldier grabbed Captain America's shield, because you were like, whoa, somebody can grab a shield. So now we got the reverse. It was almost like wrestling, or something, WWE, where it was like, all right, you thought you were a badass in that last movie, but now I'm here.
Some little kid comes along, and without any hesitation, just takes the arm like a rag doll.
Now, as excited as I was to see Spider-Man, and as cool as it was seeing him going around, I have a couple issues with the big Spider-Man scene. First of all, his costume. Dan, please explain this to me. What is going on with his eyes? Did Tony Stark invent a mask that sort of feels his emotions and will like squint his eyes like robotically or digitally or something? I was really lost as to the eyes sort of squinting and just gesturing. Not like material, not like, hey, I'm moving my face and material's moving. Yeah, robotic and stuff. So what happened here? Does Tony Stark just install this, or is this like a thing we're just gonna have to accept and that will be unexplained?
Well, here's the thing. If you go back to when they first walked in, and when Tony Stark first introduced himself to Peter Parker, he was looking at the homemade costume, and they mention the eyes. He even I don't know if he put the eyes up to the glasses up to him, but he was mentioning how difficult it would be to because he had very big, heavy goggles on his original homemade Spider-Man costume. So I'm assuming that Tony Stark, being the person that he is, came along and was like, all right, well, I'm going to take your idea and I'm just going to perfect it,
So I get that it's supposed to look nicer and cosmetically be good, but am I understanding that there's this a cybernetic thing? Because it literally looks like his eyes are squinting, but it's not material. It looks like it's a cool effect. It looks
There's
neat.
Even a noise, if you listen, I think it does sound kind of like robotic or like a machine. When it does close, you hear like a kind of thing.
Okay, so I need more. If you guys are in chat, let me know. Is this somehow explained or on a Wikipedia or a comic book? If his eyes, because I know Peter Parker in the comics is a photographer and he takes pictures to sort of make it a living, technically. So it's plausible that maybe there's robotics in there that can even take pictures, something like that. So I'll believe that, but it just seemed to kind of jump ahead. And when I was watching that fight scene, I was just like, whoa, Spidey's costume is definitely gotten an upgrade here.
Maybe it has something to do with the Spidey sense.
Yeah, the Spidey sense. And then the other thing was we were in an airfield and Spidey's just shooting webs all over and flying around like he's in New York City and stuff. Dan, did you have a problem with this at all, that we're in an airfield? There's not really much in the sky in an airfield, but somehow Spider-Man is just slinging webs in every direction possible. We're talking the good, we're talking the bad. Is that something that distracted you at all, watching that big air fight scene there?
It's funny because until you brought it up right now, I guess I really didn't think about it because I was so distracted by there's so many different fights going on. But yeah, I mean, he was able to to fly around a lot. He didn't even gain that much momentum. I mean, grabbing on. I mean, what did he grab onto? Like now, I can't even remember.
I mean, I get that maybe he's kind of grabbing other people, and there must have been a tower or something like that. But I have a feeling when I watch it back, that's going to be a scene that's going to distract me because I'm going to be thinking like, okay, where's that web going? Like what is that hitting?
Don't need to know.
All right, let's jump over to another character you brought up earlier. James TH in chat says Giant Man was probably my favorite scene. So this is a big one. They were able to kind of keep it a little surprise, spoiler free. In trailers and merchandising. Unfortunately, Funko, I think, was the first like toy manufacturer that did like a Giant Man toy. So that kind of got things out. I play a lot of Disney Infinity video games. I do gameplay of that, and they were pretty clear that they weren't gonna let that Ant-Man figure go out and have spoilers. So again, let's go back now. Let's jump back to Ant-Man. How were you? What were your thoughts when you first saw him as Ant-Man and then Giant Man?
Oh, I mean, well, it was great to see Paul Rudd back in this, and it's so funny too because when Paul Rudd was first announced as Ant-Man, I was excited when he was cast. I was excited for it, but when he was in like on talk shows and stuff, he really didn't seem like he was taking the character that seriously. But I guess he was kind of just playing the part a little bit too, because he is just like a regular guy. Ant-Man is like a thief pretty much. So, but when he introduces himself to everybody and they tell him to suit up, and I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. I love when he was smaller and inside. Whose suit was it? Was it Iron Man suit or War Machine suit? I believe.
Yeah, he gets small. So in the battle, he gets small and jumps into Iron Man's suit, Tony Stark's, and causes a little havoc in there. And that, of course, was a great moment that's been captured in comic books where Ant-Man is on Hawkeye's bow and arrow, and he shoots him out. So that was like an iconic image there. Let me ask you this. Again, I saw this once. Did they ever show Paul Rudd putting the mask on to establish that Paul Rudd, the actor, was actually Ant-Man? Because I'm wondering, like, if you've never seen Ant-Man, if you kind of got that connection. Do you remember that at all? Up on first viewing, because I know he kind of shows up and he's Ant-Man, but like if you don't know the actor and his voice, that might have been something that kind of you forgot, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I don't think they actually show, because he just said, all right, guys, suit up, and then everybody was all together walking. But there was a scene at the end of that fight where he did, I guess, when he was Giant Man and then shrunk back down, he did take the mask off.
Okay, yeah, we did see he had to sort of breathe, catch his breath or something. So, so we got the Ant-Man. I thought that was all great. I saw the Ant-Man movie and I thought it was fun, but I didn't think it was like a top 10 movie or this and that. But I think the Ant-Man in this, like all the guest appearances, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, just were like the best I could ever conceive them possible. It's going to be really difficult to actually see Ant-Man 2, and wonder like, well, what are we going to do with this movie?
Yeah, no, I agree. I wasn't a big fan of the villain. I forget his name, Yellow Jacket, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. I like the actor, but I just wasn't a big fan of that character for some reason. Wasn't strong enough. Yeah,
the Yellow Jacket character, there was some of that was a little. When you saw Ant-Man, people in chat back me up here, but if you didn't know this, it was basically two directors kind of involved, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And when you're watching it, there's definitely two voices at work, and I think it kind of made my watching experience of that. But let's go back to Giant Man now. Probably one of the top 3 moments of seeing Giant Man comes to life. It's like Godzilla, he's tearing things up. I thought it was great, but I had kind of an issue that, like, and this is something I guess you have to do in movie cinema. I mean, Dan here's a big movie cinema person. Why is it that when people are big and gigantic, they kind of have to move in slow motion mechanics? Like, why is that? Explain to me that, Dan.
The funny thing is that I have always thought the same way. I would personally think that they'd move a little bit quicker. Why are these small guys outrunning this huge guy now? I would think that it would be much faster and more powerful. I don't know if he's picking up some wind and the wind is slowing him down.
Yeah, it looked great. It was a great effect, and you had to slow things down for the audience, but Yeah, when he was gigantic, I was just like, "Rrr," something. When Hulk's a big guy and he moves around pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess yeah, I don't know. I've always wondered the same thing, really. I really have. And just the other day, I was thinking about it too because I was watching a clip of it, and I was like, man, why though? Why is he so slow?
Let's see. In chat, we got Kyler Ford says the second Ant-Man movie will be called Ant-Man and the Wasp. Is that something? Are you excited to see? We got a teaser in the last Ant-Man movie. I think it was an after credit scene or something like that, where she gets the Wasp costume.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yes, that looked like it was kind of built by Tony Stark. It looked a little metallic there. Are you excited to see the second Ant-Man movie?
I'm excited. Yeah, I think now that I've warmed up to the character a little bit more, I am excited to see it. And I mean, I'm always open to throw in some new heroes, new villains. So I'm looking forward to a new costume being tossed in there, new character.
And speaking of Ant-Man, so JB in chat says, I loved that he thought that he threw a water truck instead of a fire truck or whatever it was that sort of exploded. There were some fun moments like that in the movie where it was very comic booky, it was jokey and lighthearted, so that was fun. Dan, let's talk about the ending, though. Let's jump ahead to the third act. Things got really serious. We're talking patricide, Winter Soldier killing off some family members, a videotape that exposes this, whether or not Captain America knows this or not, Tony Stark getting the rage from his childhood. Yeah. I thought it was a little heavy-handed and a little too much. I was just like, well, wait a second here. Where's the comic book? Where's the fun? And where's the villain with the big giant, rocket launcher suit or something? What did you think of sort of the third act, where it basically boiled down to a bad guy saying, hey, you guys should fight, and then they fight, and that's kind of how it goes, right?
Well, funny thing is, I was watching the Schmoes. Schmoes know they were talking about this recently too, and they did bring up a good point where there's a lot to chew. If you if you can sit back and drown everything out and say, okay, listen, it's a comic book movie. Things don't always have to add up. There's a lot that went into this. That how did that? I forget the guy's name, the character's name. The villain at the end, if you will.
Oh, Zemo, who's
yes.
Baron Zemo, I guess, in the comics.
Yes. How did he know that they were going to get away? Captain America and Winter Soldier were going to get away. Find him there. How did he know that Iron Man would get away? Go against the government and follow them down there. There was a lot that goes into it, but I did enjoy it. And I didn't really, although I would have liked Crossbones to be in it a little more, I didn't mind that there wasn't any main big villain because, after all, it's Captain America Civil War, and it is the good guys against each other and battle of opinions. So I was okay with that. I love that fight scene. I love that. I like that, Tony Stark kind of eased into what was going on, and he kind of, before he found out that Bucky was the one, and, he kind of they met up and he went to go help them out and then discovers that. And then that final fight was just amazing.
Yeah, really good. Went on for a good amount of time. We got a lot of moments where Captain was winning and then Tony Stark was winning. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on like that. You kind of wonder well, if what would have happened here if they were trying to pull their punches, I guess because technically they were sort of pulling their punches even though they were trying to beat the crap out of each other, right?
Yeah. Because after all, they are friends. I definitely see Iron Man's point. I would be. I don't care if he was under control or not. I feel like if somebody killed my parents, I'm killing them. So I get that aspect of it. But Captain America, like you said, Captain America, he knew what was going on. He held the secret, and he deliberately did not tell Tony Stark. And do you think that was a selfish choice?
Well, we did. We actually got a comment from Gamer Family. How did Captain America know that Bucky was responsible for the Starks? So, kind of an Easter egg thing from Winter Soldier. If you've never seen Winter Soldier, there's kind of a quick hey, all the stuff gets blasted out to the internet, and then he kind of sees that Bucky. I guess he sees a screenshot or something. The Bucky killed off the Starks, so that's kind of how he knew. So I think that the way that was explained, because I walked out of the theater too, going so Captain America, did he say he knew just because he was trying to back up Bucky, or did he actually know? And then I kind of had to do some wiki research on that. So how do you think that was sort of handled, the explanation of that part?
Well, you know, until you said it right now, I don't think I really realized that Captain America saw that, or I noticed back then in Winter Soldier, but I guess I didn't put two and two together this time around. I think they could have gone about it, you know, a little bit more, spoken about how he knew and how long he knew, and you know.
Yeah, there was a few Easter eggy things. Like that's the only downside of the Marvel Universe movies. Well, there's a few downsides, but in a character-driven movie like Civil War, where some of the characters have backstory that isn't really explained in the new movie, you almost need to like when you buy your movie tickets to Civil War, you should almost get like a discount to watch like 10 other movies for free on like Apple TV or something like that, just so you kind of like marathon catch up and know things. Was there any other like Easter eggy kind of secrety things that you kind of noticed or had to check out other than these things we're pointing out right now?
No, other than this, no, not this time around. I mean, with other movies, there have been where I had to take a look back and say, oh, okay, hold on a second, that happened there. Okay, so it makes sense. But this time around, I didn't until right now. Yeah.
It is sort of like being in the comic book shop when you're your buddies and you're like, wait, did you notice this or that? Or what if that? What if this? Yeah. So it does give talking points, but Marvel movies are big money makers and they sort of transcend just geek and nerd culture. So I'm surprised that sometimes when these little things get like a pass, because I still want to see great movies that are great stories, not just a spectacle kind of thing.
Of course.
Let me see. I'm looking over Chad here. Gamer Family says, "I love watch the streams and learn everything. We're learning stuff. Are we missing any major thing? I want to wrap up in a few minutes here. Are we missing any major Civil War things? So tell me again. So if there was a top 5, we'll recap a bit. If there was a top 5 MCU, what's your list and where does Civil War sit if it's in your top 5, Dan?
Okay. Yeah, like I said before, I have to always go back to Iron Man 1, the first one. Just something about it. I love the creation of that character. Oh man, let's see. Guardians, I said before, like I really wish I'd seen it in theaters because it was a really fun movie. So Guardians would be in the number 2. I would say that Captain America: Civil War is number 3, and maybe 4 would be Avengers, the first one.
Okay.
And it's so funny because I feel like it doesn't connect well, but I was always a big fan of the Incredible Hulk, the one with Edward Norton.
Yeah, no, you stole one of my picks. I was going to pull that out as my sneak attack. So props to you. Yeah, the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, I think is like definitely a top 5er.
Yeah, pretty sad that Edward Norton didn't continue his run. I was really looking forward to it, but Mark Ruffalo doing a great job.
If you guys in chat, the Incredible Hulk that came out, let's see here, 2008, I believe. That was one of the early ones. Pretty good effects, great acting, Ed Norton. And the funny thing is so Dan is a big Blu-ray collector. I bought the Blu-ray that I've had it for a while, but I was like, let me pop on some of these like bonus scenes and check things out. And man, there's some like good acting and moments on like the cutouts of it. You ever watched the Blu-ray bonuses on the Hulk Blu-ray?
Incredible Hulk, yeah, a while ago, I guess when it first came out. But it's been so long. But I mean, when it comes to Edward Norton, I mean, he's a phenomenal actor. So I'm it's to be expected when it comes to him. I was really excited when I heard he was going to be Hulk.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Before I jump into my top list, Dan, did you have any problem with this feeling like the Avengers 3 should have been just called the Avengers 3? Are you okay with it being called Captain America: Civil War? Did that factor into your movie enjoying experience?
It didn't. I was starting to think the same thing for a while and wondering too, because there are a lot of heroes. I mean, how many of these superheroes were in this movie? 12, maybe more. I don't know. But no, it still felt like a Captain America movie because it did, even though all these characters were in it, it's still, Captain America walked aside and the story follows him and Bucky. So, and Falcon. So yes. I think it was very good. I think it was, Captain America: Civil War was good.
We did a dishonest to Falcon. He was really shined in this one. We didn't talk about him at all, but he was there. He was great. The actor playing him was great. All his new gadgets were great. Jason Chat says, "Why was Thor not in the movie?" So Thor and Hulk weren't in this movie because they're on Thor's home planet. Is that the deal? They're gearing up for the next Thor movie with Hulk in it.
Yeah, I believe so. And I'm not the biggest Thor fan. I could never, for some reason, seem to get into those movies. The visuals are gorgeous, and I like the Thor character, but the story I can never get into. But I'm looking forward to it with the Hulk. I'm hoping that something good comes out of it.
So let me jump over. So my favorite is Marvel movies. Number one, I'll go and usually start with 5 and go up, and I can't think like that in live stream. But number one, my favorite, Captain America Winter Soldier. It's my favorite. Probably number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. I really like that Hulk movie we were talking about with Ed Norton a lot. Iron Man 1 was definitely very iconic and fun. And then maybe Civil War is like number 5. I mean, I have a feeling that when I get on Blu-ray and I watch it multiple times, that maybe Civil War will kind of like creep up a little higher or something. It feels like, one of those movies that had just so much in it that's hard to, make that long-term, justification on one viewing.
Yes, you get a lot to grasp in the first viewing. You definitely probably appreciate it a little bit more second time around, now that you know what you're going to be watching.
So cool. Let me give some shout outs here. Gamer Family, JB, James, Jace, Kyler, Chloe, Galaxy Red. We got a bunch of people in chat. I don't know what happened last night. I did some live stream and I think my feed didn't go out to my YouTube. So I'm glad to see some of the CoinOpTV live stream regulars in there. Dan, what's the next video you're putting up on your channel there? Give us a teaser.
Oh man, well, one video that everybody's been asking for is a complete collection video of my complete Blu-ray collection, which I believe I'm nearing 2,600 Blu-rays, so it's going to be a hard video to film. People have been asking for it for quite some time, but that's going to be one of the next few that I film. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll put a link to Dan's YouTube channel and Twitter in the description below when I archive this. So thanks a bunch for jumping on, talking some Captain America Civil War, and you guys all on live stream. Dan, we'll see you. Hopefully we'll get to do this again. Maybe when X-Men or something else comes out, we could talk some more.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for having me, and everybody in the chat, thank you so much as well.
Cool beans. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next live stream, probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday at 12 o'clock. We'll see how it goes. Take care. Later.
Take care, guys.